We're going to see an example of what a negative linear relationship looks like in this video. So far, all of the examples that I've showed you like this have had positive linear relationships, and they were positive because the rate of change, or the unit rate, was always positive. So let's take a look at what a negative one looks like. So our situation, the context, says Linda is always losing her tennis balls. She sounds like me. At the beginning of tennis season, she has 30 tennis balls. She loses 3 tennis balls every week. So now it's our job to fill in the table and the graph and write an equation for this context. So let's start with the table. So at 0 weeks, how many tennis balls does she have? So when you see 0, just think about, what does she start with? Well, we know that she starts the season with 30 tennis balls. Okay, next, how many tennis balls does she have after 2 weeks have passed? Well, it says that she loses 3 tennis balls every week. So she started with 30 and she loses 3 every week. But 2 weeks have passed, so it'd be 2 for 2 weeks now. So what's 30 minus 6? 24. Okay, how many tennis balls does she have left after 4 weeks? Well, she started with 30 and she loses 3 every week. And so far, 4 weeks have passed. So over the 4 weeks, she's lost 12 tennis balls. So 30 minus the 12 that she's lost is 18. Last row says, how many tennis balls does she have after 6 weeks? So she starts with 30 and she loses 3 tennis balls every week for 6 weeks. So in 6 weeks, she loses 3 times 6 is 18. So in 6 weeks, she's lost 18 balls. But she started with 30, so 30 minus 18 means she has 12 now. Okay, so we filled in our table. Let's hurry and find the rate of change for this table, since that's something that we should be good at by now. Remember, rate of change means we're looking for how y changes divided by how x changes. So choosing 2 points, I'm just going to choose the top 2 lines, top 2 points, and I'm going to see how y changed. So 24 minus 30. Pull out a calculator so you can make sure you get the signs right. 24 minus 30 is a negative 6. And then x changed. 2 minus 0 is still 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So there's that negative relationship that I'm talking about. The rate of change is a negative 3. And that's represented by negative 3 because she's losing 3 tennis balls. Okay, now let's use this table to fill in our graph. So the first point is 0, 30. So 0, 30, that's our first point. The next is 2, 24. Next we have 4, 18. And finally 6, 12. Now I know I did my table right because I plotted the points and it made a straight line. So draw the line through these ones. And there we go. So this graph looks a little bit different than the ones that you guys have done so far, because notice it's going downhill. And it's going downhill because it has a negative rate of change. Now let's go ahead and answer or write the equation now. So remember, the equation comes from the pattern that I followed to fill in my table. So x represents the number of weeks that have passed. Y represents the number of tennis balls she has left. So for my equation, I'm going to say y, the number of tennis balls she has left, is equal to, now here's my pattern. She starts with 30 and she loses 3 tennis balls every week, and weeks are represented by x. So this would be my equation for this context. So once again, remember this is a negative relationship because the rate of change is negative and my slope, the slope of my line, is going downhill.